In this video, we will recap the key takeaways from this section of the course. This section covered input, conditional statements, and loops. First, we learned about obtaining user input using cin and the extraction operator. Next, we learned about if, else statements, programming constructs that can be used to write branching code logic in C++. Then came a look at another type of conditional statement, switch statements. A switch statement checks if a condition matches one of the case statements inside of it, and if so, executes the code associated with that switch statement. After that, we learned about for loops, which we can use to execute code over and over a certain number of times. For loops are ideal when we know the amount of iterations we need in advance. Next, we learned about while loops and do-while loops. These programming constructs come in handy when we don't know the amount of iterations we need beforehand, or when we want to execute the loop while a Boolean condition is true. We need to ensure that each loop eventually hits a condition that terminates it, or else we will run into an infinite loop, an error situation where a loop continues running indefinitely and crashes our program. Then we learned about goto statements, which allow us to jump to different labeled sections of the code. Again, please be careful when using goto statements, as doing so can make the code harder to follow. After that, we learned about pointers. Then we learned about arrays and vectors. Arrays have a fixed size, and their size cannot be changed. Vectors are resizable arrays.